Hi guys, Tracy here with another scrapbooking process video. Today I'm going to be using the hip kit from the month of May. There's a link to the hip kit club in the information section for this video and for all of my videos, and thank you again to them for supplying me with all of the products that I'll be using today. I'm also going to be using Mo's Tic-Tac-Toe challenge for the month of June, and there's the challenge right up there on your screen. This is a tic-tac-toe challenge where you can pick any three in a row. You could go up, you could go down, you could go diagonally, and I'm going to be using the top row. If you don't know what I'm talking about for Mo's Tic-Tac-Toe challenge, you need to join us over on the Facebook group, and the link to that is in the information section below, as well as at the end of this video. We have lots of challenges every month. I do my 27-day challenge over on my Facebook group, and also my good friend Moira O'Reilly does some challenges as well over on that Facebook page. So make sure you check that out if you're interested in playing along with challenges. So I'm going to be using that top row of the tic-tac-toe box. And so I'm going to be using a floral, I'm going to be using two different alphas, and I'm going to either ink, distress, or outline all of my edges. And of course, outlining all of my edges, it almost feels like cheating by using a row that has that option, because I almost always do outlining, but that's what I'm going to do. So I'm starting here just by familiarizing myself with the kit. And I've already used this chevron paper, that zigzag chevron paper with the floral design in it. That is from the Chamel collection, from the Little by Little collection, and I love that paper. And so I had already cut out a couple of chevrons for another project, and then I used some of my leftovers on a second project, and now here I am using more of the leftover chevrons. So I'm definitely getting every last bit of scrappy goodness out of that beautiful chevron pattern by Chamel. So I have these photos picked out, and these are actually 3 photos of an evening. I've already scrapbooked our hotel stay from that same evening on another, I think, 2 pages, and I have more to come. So there's more stories to tell about this one trip that we took a few weekends ago. So I very quickly decided to lay out my 3 photos in this kind of a casual overlapping way, and now I'm just playing around with different options for backgrounds. I thought for a few minutes here that I might use this beautiful paper by Pink Fresh Studio. I really love the phrase that says, "Explore, embrace the detour." And it was a bit of a detour to think about using this paper as my background, but I'm going to go ahead and use the original paper that I had planned to use. It's that beautiful mint green with some white on it. It looks like a mixed media page. So pretty. And it is from Maggie Holmes, from the Chasing Dreams collection, of course. And so I'm just playing around with a couple of different options for matting this one. So I'm pretty sure I am going to want to mat it. And as soon as I saw this daisy floral pattern, I've already used this paper elsewhere. I knew I wanted to use that as my mat for all the way around the outside of the layout. I had a moment there of thinking I might use that brown grid paper, but it was too bland. I really like how this mint green paper picks up on the green in Brian's shirt. It's almost exactly the same color. I really love that about it. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. It did take me a little while to decide on my 2 background papers, this green one I'm about to cut down, and then the daisy one for around the outside edges. But once I decided, I really felt like I knew that it was right. So I was ready to stop choosing those papers and dive right in to cutting them. So I did cut a 1/2 inch off of 2 adjacent sides so that paper is now 11.5 by 11.5. And then I just took the manufacturer's strip off of that daisy paper. The daisy paper's from the Lovely Day collection from Dear Lizzie. And I love that daisy paper so much, and this is my second piece of it, so I do get the extra paper add-on kit from the Hip Kit Club, and so I do have doubles of all my paper. I have already used this daisy paper on another project this month, but I love it so much that I decided, instead of sacrificing the whole page behind this layout, I thought I would cut a chunk out of the center just so I have the option to use it again on another layout if I want to. I'm also knowing that I'm going to put a couple of layouts together in my album that are from the same night. I'm wanting to continue as many papers as possible travel across these layouts. And so that just gives me the option to use more of that daisy paper to give these pages a bit of a coordinated and pulled together and cohesive look in my album, which has lots and lots of other pages that are unrelated to this. So I kind of want these pages to feel like they belong together. So you saw me just use my pencil there to mark off that part of the chevron that was overhanging on the daisy paper. I didn't want it to overhang. I wanted it to end at the edge, right where the mint paper ends. I'm using my grid mat here to make sure that I'm lining this up properly. I find zigzags kind of hard on the brain for lining up, so I used my grid mat behind my layout there just to make sure that the chevrons were both ending in about the same place. Now this happy, happy, happy is a strip from the bottom of one of the other pieces of paper. I can't remember which one. It doesn't really matter. It's one of the kits that came in the kit, and it's a paper that I had used in a previous layout. So now I've decided I'm going to put happy, happy, happy across it because it was a very happy night indeed for my Uncle Brian, who's actually not my Uncle Brian. I call him mine. I've kind of adopted him. He's my husband's uncle, but I consider his aunt and uncle to be my aunt and uncle too. I've kind of, adopted them as my own. So now I'm just I realized for a second there that I wasn't really paying attention to the Tic-Tac-Toe challenge. And then I did a bit of a happy dance when I realized, yay, I've already got all of the components that I need in place in order to meet the criteria for the Tic-Tac-Toe challenge. So I was happy about that. There's that Tic-Tac-Toe challenge again. So I have a floral already in I have two different florals. I can easily use two alphas. You see them laid out right there. And I almost always outline. So this one is going to be an easy one for me. So I want to put I'm basically looking for something that can act as a home for my title. I want this one to be called 70th Birthday Bash. It was a very small bash. There were only about 25 or 30 people there, I think. But it was a really wonderful way to celebrate Uncle Brian's birthday. And so I definitely want to call it 70th Birthday Bash because that way the title can tell some of my story for me. I have quite a bit of journaling to say about this, but it's not all going to end up on this page. I'm going to put a half page in between this page and the one that comes next. And on that 6 by 12 page, I'm going to put a fair amount of journaling, potentially put a fair amount of journaling. So I'm also going to use these wood grain or wood veneer pieces that came in the Project Life kit from Hip Kit Club for the month of May. And I don't always get the Project Life kit, but I did get it this time. So I'm happy to use these little wooden embellishments. I think they're really nice, especially on a mail layout. So I'll tell you a little bit about the picture and the story when I get to the journaling part. So I am using this beautiful font. It looks like a felt tip marker type of handwriting, and I love it. It's in a beautiful complementary bluey green color, and I'm writing out 70th with it. And it's exclusive to the Hip Kit Club, and now I thought I wanted the word birthday to definitely fit on that card, and in order to do so, I'm going to have to use a fairly small font as my font for the word birthday. So I noticed that the Chamel sticker set that also comes in the Project Life kit has this tiny little colorful font, and they're clear tile letter stickers. I love clear tile letter stickers because it's so much easier to pick little rectangles off of the sheet and put them down where you want them to go than it is to pick up little tiny shaped letter stickers. So these are really wonderful. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. You get the convenience of a tile, but the shape and detail of like a shaped letter sticker. And I'm going to put the word bash in the same font, which was a bit of a switch. I think I was thinking initially about making the word bash be something different, but I thought that would just be a little bit too much going on. I'm not a huge user of multicolored letters, but I do love using it for something like the word birthday or something kind of celebratory or carnival themed. I don't typically use a multicolored letter for just everyday projects, but for a celebratory one, it makes very good sense. And you don't always have to follow those rules. It's just that's one of those things that, and it's not really a rule, but that's just one of my little quirky things about the way that I scrapbook is I'm a little bit particular about using mixed colored letter stickers, I guess, because I don't really love them all that much outside of the context of a celebratory layout. So this plant, this chipboard plant sticker, is something that just reminds me of Fee and Brian, our aunt and uncle. And so I really want to get it on the page. They travel to Cuba a lot, and they have their house decorated in really bright, vibrant colors. And those purple and yellow flowers also really remind me of Fee. She wears a lot of purple and bright colors, and so I want to get that floral die cut on there. I'm going to get it on, but I'm going to end up covering most of it. But also that potted plant just reminds me of a plant that I would see in her house. So I wanted to get that one on the page as well. Now this label die cut piece here is one of the die cuts that came with the kit. And then this sticker is from that Shawne sticker set. I love those stickers. And I love that multicolored banner. It picks up on the multicolored title that I've made myself there. I'm positioning where I put the photos. I've already glued the photos to one another so that I can move them around the page as one unit, which makes it much, much easier to plan the rest of my page. And then I just placed them so that I basically kind of stuck the flowers in place so that I knew that there would be enough room for some of the flowers to be showing when I finally stuck the photos down. Now here I'm making a bit of a mistake. You never know when you're going to want to go back and add something. So stapling and sewing are two things that you want to be pretty sure before you do it. And I'm about to staple that wood veneer in place. That is going to be a problem for me later on. First, let me just get this sticker in place. There we go. And now I'm going to take my tiny attacher, only my tiny attacher is just, I need to replace it. I love my tiny attacher. I had it for a good long time. It's been broken since almost the time I used it, but still it worked really well. It was broken in a way that didn't really affect how you use it, but now it won't work properly. So I just have to get another one. I do have this gold stapler, and I know you don't need two staplers. I've got like 4 or 5 staplers. I probably don't need a new tiny attacher, but I love that thing so much, and it's the one I always reach for even though I know it's broken, so I just need to get a new one. Anyhow, my gold stapler is what I use for gold staples, so that I don't have to change my staples every time I want gold ones. So I just decided to use gold staples just because my other stapler wasn't working. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to take my title letter stickers off of the waxed paper, and I just use the wax paper so that I can experiment with title placement. I almost always do that. I've been doing that for a good long time now. And then the other nice thing about those tile letter stickers is that if you overlap them, you can just pick them all off of your wax paper in one swoop and put them down at once instead of having to peel each individual letter off. I use my Stampin' Up! Glue pen to put a bit of glue, liquid glue, down on that important arrow. And that also came in the Project Life kit from Hip Kit Club this month. I always find Hip Kit Club to be a bit of a tongue twister, so I often bumble around that word a little bit. I really like the use of the wood grain. I might have already said this, but on a masculine layout in particular. And so, not sure what I'm doing here. I think I'm telling a story. My friend Tanya was here with me when I was scrapbooking this one. So while I do that, I'll tell you a little bit about these photos. So the picture of the cake is printed at 2.5 by 2.5. I printed all these out with my Epson Picture Mate charm. And then the other two are 4x6 photos that I just trimmed down with a white border around them, or I printed them up with a white border around them. I just stuck that little die cut label piece in behind the photo, and what I'm doing right now is I'm looking for something to put behind that. So I need something that's going to span the space between the label and that Project Life card that has the title on it. This I just punched a circle with another piece of pattern paper from the kit with a scalloped circle with a punch. I'm sorry that happened out of frame, but that wasn't quite big enough. But now this, when I layer it with another die cut, especially same colored one so it's not too distracting, that works quite well, but it's still not quite big enough. And this label sticker here, these are from the Shawne stickers, the sticker book that came in the Project Life kit. That is perfect. That's a perfect size, but because I like this kind of layered circle element that I made with the yellow die cut and then the yellow punch, I like it a lot. So I'm going to use both the Shawne lined journaling sticker thing that you see there stuck to my mat, and also these two circles. I'm going to run it through my sewing machine first because it just adds a little bit more detail on those 2 layered circles. And I had a bit of a, I don't know, problem, I guess, with my bobbin. Just sewed pretty messy, just back and forth and back and forth. And now I'm going to go ahead and just sew all the way around. I'm sorry that I didn't change my angle. I usually show you guys my sewing from a better angle where you can actually see the needle going into the paper. But I was in a not really a rush, but my friend was here and we were about to have lunch and I just wanted to get the sewing done. So I didn't bother setting up my second angle. I know you guys see that angle quite a lot, so I hope most of you don't mind that I just skipped that extra little detail in this video. I'm just basically outlining all the way around, and this is my half-size Kenmore sewing machine, and I love this little machine. The bobbin tension is not good on it right now, and it seems to lose its bobbin tension pretty quickly. Like you have to open up, go into like the guts of the machine and use a screwdriver to change the bobbin tension. It's a little bit of a different process than it is to change the tension on the top thread. You guys have been asking me about how to thread a machine. Some of you have been, and so I am going to do a video on how to thread a sewing machine. I feel a little unqualified to do that, but I'll try my best to do that for you guys because I know you've been asking for it. So hang tight, and I'm hoping to get to that video maybe this coming weekend. So while I had my sewing machine out to sew the yellow circles, I just decided to do my sewing around the outside edge. I like to do that a lot of the times when I frame in a layout with a mat like that. Now I'm just going to layer the circle with that kind of blobby shape behind it from the Chamel sticker sheet. It looks a little bit like a speech bubble in this way because it's covering up the top of the little weird shape of the top. So anyhow, then we went and had lunch. Tanya brought some delicious West African peanut soup. Oh my goodness, I'd never had it before and it was so yummy. I couldn't believe it. So now I have these Dear Lizzie embellishments out, and they look like brads, but they're actually buttons with these like epoxy little stickers in the center. Some of them have a wooden outline and some of them have like a gold shiny outline. And so I'm going to put 2 of those beside the little potted plant, and I'm feeling like this side needs something. And I know I already stapled that little tab in place, but I felt like it needed something a little bit more substantial over on that side besides just the flowers and the little tab. So I'm going to kind of percolate on that idea a little bit and just look at what else I have. I'm kind of at the embellishment stage right now and thinking about what all I want to add. And I love this bear. Like I love this bear. And Fee actually calls Brian Papa Bear sometimes. So getting this bear on this page became very important to me at this point. So screw that tab, I'm taking it off. It's hard to take off these silly little staples. So, and they don't quite go through the page enough to be able to use like a proper staple remover. And plus they're smaller staples than regular. So it's really hard to do that. So I just ended up kind of doing the best that I could to pull it out with the tools that I had on hand. And then I ended up just cutting the part that wouldn't come out. And then the tab popped off pretty easily. And then it was easier for me to fit that cute, adorable little bear in there. So I thought about putting him behind the photo, but he's just too darn adorable. I don't want to cover up either Dave's face or too much of his body, and also I definitely don't want to cover up cute, adorable little Sam in there either. So I had to play around with placement so that the bear and his little ear wasn't covering too much of the important stuff in this photo, which gives me this problem where the word perfect day on the bear's little banner there, see how when I cut that out, oops, I'm going to cut right through the word day. And that's okay. Sometimes I do that and I don't really care. But in this case, I do. I slowed this down so you can see what I did here. I just cut the banner in a place that doesn't matter. So meaning not where the phrasing is. And then I just overlapped it. And that is a little trick of the trade for making things smaller. You just cut them and overlap them so that you can do this with labels or anything that's a little bit kind of symmetrical and easy to overlap. And so then when I cut the end off of the banner, I wasn't cutting out the word day. And I don't mind letting the banner just kind of hang off the page like that and just trim off the edge. That's fine. I do that kind of thing all the time, so that's not a big deal. Now, this black and white heart I really liked the contrast that brought to the page. And then I just added this puffy scalloped sticker because I just felt like it added a little something down to this area as well. At this point, then when I layered this, now the heart was bold, and so it was kind of demanding a lot of your attention. So I just layered it with an ampersand to tone it down a little bit. And then I added those two little hearts up above the bear. Those are two little puffy sticker hearts. The puffy stickers here are a combination of stickers from the Dear Lizzie puffy stickers that came in the kit, and also the Hip Kit exclusive puffy stickers that are right by my elbow right now as I outline. I felt like the tops of these photos needed a little bit more definition, especially the one with Brian. Well, they both have Brian in it, but the one in the kitchen with the cake, like kind of just where the cabinets were, the photo was just kind of like disappearing off into the background paper. So by outlining it, it just gives it a little bit more dimension. I used my Lumocolor Stettler pen for that. And I need something up here. I just feel like it needs something. So I have that wood veneer with the heart outline in it. And then I also have this dreaming of ... And I just thought that was really nice up there, especially with the addition of that red tag. And now I noticed this washi sticker here, this little strip of washi tape from the Chamel stickers. And this is the kind of black and white contrast that I really love to add to my page, and it makes a really nice final detail. So I'm going to put a little tiny bit of it in each of my clusters. And that repetition gives my page a little bit more cohesion. So each of the little clusters, the 3 clusters, form a visual triangle with the photos in between it. So your eye goes from one cluster to the other. And in the process of doing that, it takes in all of the details of the photos. Each cluster has a little bit of that tape. Each cluster is going to end up having one of those buttons. Each cluster will have a couple of puffy stickers, and each cluster will have a bit of wood veneer. So that's the repetition. Those are the items that repeat from cluster to cluster to make the whole page look kind of pulled together. I also added a bit of that black and white washi tape right above on the Project Life card where it says status update, right above the word 70th. And that just brings your attention a little bit better to the title, which is 70th Birthday Bash, which the title doesn't really stand out on this page in the way that it does in some of my other pages. So adding that little bit of washi just directs your eye over that way. I'm going to float a couple of little star stickers out here just for extra interest around that house. The house sticker is because the party was a house concert, and so their home is actually Fia and Brian's home kind of features kind of strongly in our memories and in our experience and interactions with that part of the family. And so the plant and the home sticker and the Papa Bear sticker just all kind of they all signify different things that represent Fee and Brian to me and to my family. I'm using my Sharpie pen here to outline around the word 70th, these puffy stickers, and that just gives them a little bit more dimension and separates them a little bit from the page. They are fairly light in color, so it helps them to stand out a little bit more from the white background that they're printed upon. And now I'm going to do my journaling along the bottom of the chevron. I'll read it to you. It says, Fee and Brian call them the boys, but the rest of the world knows them as Sons of Maxwell. It was amazing to finally meet them and celebrate with them. And then I'm going to add a little bit more up at the top of the page that says Brian's 70th birthday, period, best, period, party, period, ever, exclamation point. So I am going to do more extensive journaling on that 6x12 layout that I've told you I'm going to make but haven't made yet. But in a nutshell, the guy in the checkered shirt standing over there to the right of Brian in the second picture there is one of the two members of the band that Fee and Brian really love. And they're a fairly famous Canadian band. I think probably most of my Canadian viewers probably recognize the Sons of Maxwell, or have heard of them, or know their music, or probably have some of their CDs. So Fee and Brian know them quite well and have followed the band for a very long time, and are quite close friends with them. And we actually have never met the band, because although Fee and Brian spend a lot of time with them, we're just never overlap. Like, we're never with them when they're with them. So, and of course, they travel a lot and are busy with their careers and stuff. So it was really wonderful for us to finally get to meet the boys, as they call them, and in such an intimate setting, because instead of going to see them at a concert or something, like a house concert just provides a little bit of more intimate setting. And it was wonderful to celebrate Brian's birthday and meet some of the other people that, players in their life that Fee and Brian sometimes talk about, but we have never really gotten to meet, like some of their neighbors and that sort of thing. So here are the close-ups of this one. I also have some photos at the end. And I will be scrapbooking a little bit more about Fee and about the party and the night. And so I have more to say, but that's all I'm going to say for now. So thanks so much for watching. If you have anything to say about this one, leave me a comment in the information section below. If you enjoyed this process video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already below. It really does help me out, helps enable me to bring you more process videos here on my channel. Take care and have a really great scrappy week.